Today we're going to be talking about health and well-being. Health obviously being the absence of illness, and well-being feeling comfortable, happy,
Ooh,
and
beautiful definition.
oh, thank you. Being happy and obviously feeling comfortable being yourself and being who you are. So I'm guessing the reason why we're having this conversation, is I feel like it's a conversation that's not really had amongst a lot of people, predominantly in the black community, as it is seen as a taboo, but we'll get into that. But I feel like within friendship groups and also family as well, it's not a conversation that's always had. It's like we're more bent on having a conversation about where you're going to be working, where you're going in the future, rather than how you're going to be feeling in that future, which is the thing that's ultimately important.
Yeah.
If you agree with me.
No, completely. I think you're right. I think that a lot of, I don't want to say specific to African households, but a lot of conversation is very career orientated,
Yeah.
and a lot of how successful you are.
Yesterday, literally, I had to sit down with my dad. He's already talked to me about this whole, you finished uni now, what's next? I'm just like, can I take it day by day? I'm just trying to take everything day by day.
And that's a very big thing actually, because I know university is a big contributor to mental health within young people. As you've seen, the suicide rate at universities is quite high for somewhere where you're really going to get let's say the qualification to then be able to start the next level of life, which is the promise that's made to you when you go there. This is going to unlock doors for you.
I think that's always been the argument from previous generations. So you always hear it from your teachers and your parents that this is the gateway to X, Y, and Z, and you're gonna have such an amazing
that they went through.
Exactly. However, because we're so interconnected now, a lot of the experiences that I can have at uni, I have anywhere,
literally
in London.
And plus, social media has really changed the way the game works.
Alongside
even
that,
the internet has probably changed
and
the
then
way the game works.
The fact that you're spending 9k on 9,250, there we go, on teaching alone. We're not even including your accommodation maintenance, your maintenance loan, sorry, because mine was 7k. Call that 16k each year on as a bare minimum in order to go to university. And then you still got to think about your budgeting, the books that you need for your coursing, how you're going to get from X, Y to Z, transport, maybe even looking at getting a job. It gets extremely strenuous, it's stressful. And this is also in a period where they haven't taught you any of this in school. You're not taught how to budget, you're not taught how to live life.
And they'll give you a money management course if you're able to do it. It's not like it's offered to everyone. It's like, you know what?
It's not mandatory.
Since you've got a bit of time, you're doing well with your GCSEs. Here you go. Do money management as well. What's that going to teach you? The basics of mortgage, not even the basics of mortgage. Literally, the basics of working out a percentage of a mortgage. Not actually teaching you about the mortgage. It's just more numbers.
I know. At school, I think this was end of year 12. We had the first and only financial management class I've ever had in my entire life. Is how little that they give you in terms of support.
Do you think
it's really just being thrown in the deep end and live your life? Tree's gone to America and had to do all of that. That's a whole nother country that you gotta manage with.
How was university in America?
That's a whole nother topic, because like we said, we're talking about mental health, and with that, I won't have been through that a little depression that we'll get into later.
Yeah, definitely. But I feel like with universities, I feel with social media and the internet and everything that's come out, it's kind of, the system's gotten a bit outdated. They're kind of stuck in that prehistoric system of getting people ready for a society where information wasn't readily available to everyone. You had to go to university to get this level of education. You had to go to university to get exposed to things that you wouldn't necessarily. Let's say, for example, we wanted to find out, I don't know, you're studying philosophy back in the day.
You need an encyclopedia.
Yeah, you need an encyclopedia. You need to be probably to travel to Greece or something, study. But now you can go on YouTube and you can learn about Othello, Plato, all of them.
Bro, I can learn a whole craft, fam. I can learn woodmanship.
You can learn woodshop. You can learn anything. Skillshare.
But it's as you're saying, it's been reflected in the higher class job roles. So you get like PwC, EY, Deloitte. These are like the three largest. What are they? Consultancy firms. They're like really big financial consultancy firms in London. I'm butchering what they really do because they're so much bigger than that.
Yeah.
But anyway, they no longer require a degree they've taken the degree requirement off of a lot of their higher positions because a lot of it is not necessarily, it doesn't really prepare you for anything.
It doesn't really.
And there are different avenues around university. So I've been telling my brother to go look at a degree level apprenticeship because that's what when I dropped out, that's the first thing I wanted to do. Because you still go on.
Sorry, do you feel like with those options there, not only having that one route being shown to you, like someone shining a torch on a place and saying, right, this is the only direction we can go in, you've just got to go, even though it's not the direction you want to go in. So a direction that may benefit you in the long run, but it's the only thing that, I don't know, that can be seen at that moment because it's the only thing that they've known.
Yeah, I think that with university, or the idea of university, comes structure.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I remember I was chatting to Waleed about this. I was like, because when I dropped out, I was like, oh, bro, I feel like I've stagnated and everyone's still doing their thing. Yeah. And you think, and he's gone back to me and said, well, you get a lot of people at university that don't really know why they're there. They're just there because it sounds like the natural next step to take. So you get a lot of people that have stagnated and aren't really doing anything. You sort of plateaued, and then you come out of uni and it's like, rah, what now? Because I know bare man that got like, I'm first in philosophy, but I'm working in, I'm doing up retail sales assistants, and it's like there's nothing wrong with that.
It's like I feel like you don't fall straight on your feet the moment you come out of uni.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
A lot of people that are in a rut right now, like they don't know exactly what they want to do, like fully know what they want to do when they come out.
And do you think that's down to the promise of university being that parachute that's going to give you a safe landing?
Yeah, completely.
But then them having the lack of resources, or
I think
the lack of want to actually make sure that when you come out of university you will have a job. I feel like that should now be the promise, because the promise back in the day was you come out of university you will be going to a job, and you was, because studying at that high level was not something that was offered to everyone.
I think the assumption, as you've already said, the assumption has always been that you come out of uni and you're guaranteed a job, or you're going to get a job. That's not the case. That's never the case.
The doors for yourself. In fact, someone who doesn't have a degree could be still open the same doors for themselves that you're struggling to open with that.
And a degree doesn't necessarily denote or speak to your intelligence.
Yeah, no, it just means
like and your ability to work, like how practical you are in doing your things. But it's something to put on your CV and say that this is what I have achieved. And finishing university is a massive achievement, and no one should feel down on themselves, because that's tough. Honestly. It's tough. But
people feel down because they haven't
they assume that it's going to accelerate their lives.
Yeah, like they assume that, alright, this is going to be the rocket that my shuttle's going to be hanging onto, and it's going to shoot me into space.
But there's so much.
I'll be fine after that.
There's so much more. Sorry, go on.
There's way more behind it, like experience, networking, all that other stuff.
Exactly.
There are so many things in between that you aren't
so
taught.
much work.
I shouldn't say you're not taught, but you're only taught in certain subjects where it's required, where it's upfront. They know that you're going to be doing this every day.
My dad, sorry, bro.
No, go on.
My dad always said that he's quite liberal. So even when I said I'm not feeling university, he was like, okay, well, let's look at the other avenues. And he was very, very positive towards doing a degree level apprenticeship. Yeah. Because then you don't have to pay. Anyway, he always told me that universities, they leave you highly qualified. No, highly qualified. Yep, but highly untrained
and experienced. Yeah, definitely, because they say when you come out of uni, want you to come out of university with 1 year experience. Like, for example, teaching. Yeah. They want you to come out of university, do your PGCE, and get 1 year of teaching. But that 1 year of teaching won't count in your PGCE.
No.
However, if you join Teach First, which is another avenue, it's not like university. Yeah. It's where you're kind of working practically but studying at the same time. So they kind of just squashed it all in together. Something like that, you get your experience and you're guaranteed to come out of a job. Now, what I don't understand is, how is an agency able to guarantee you work and a qualification, but the university is only able to guarantee you the qualification, if anything?
Well, there you go.
It seems like there's a large disparity. It seems like they figured out how to make money off the people again.
No, completely. I mean, okay, see, the quote was, universities leave you overqualified but underexperienced. There we go. That reads much better. So,
what would be your advice to younger people?
My advice,
because like, let's say there's a generation right now going
my advice to younger people would be not to listen to everything your teachers say, because your teachers have quotas that they need to meet. So they will always push you towards 100%. University. Regardless of how it makes you feel, regardless of your opinion on university, they will always push you towards to university. They're sort of obligated to.
The more students the school sends to university, the higher your rank on Ofsted.
Exactly. And it's things that you can put on on display. So I remember a couple people retook a year and then they got a few A stars and went to another better university.
Oh yeah.
And then they put those up.
Yeah.
They put those statistics up. Like 20% of our students get into Russell Group. No, like 60% of our students get into Russell Group universities or
60% of their students get into Russell Group universities. But how many of those students actually wanted to go to the Russell Group universities? Because I remember they used to do a thing where they used to require a certain amount of students to take the EBAC route, where they had to study maths, English, science, history.
I thought it was an obligation.
No. It was only if you can manage.
Okay.
It was if you can manage, but they had to have a certain number so that Ofsted knew, right?
Yeah.
They're hitting that mandatory benchmark of everyone passing maths, English, science, and everything else that goes under it. So do you feel like schools are kind of forming us into a brick in the wall, like people used to say, an assembly line, that they're just getting us ready to go into a society that isn't necessarily the same anymore?
I mean, I think that the modern education system is extremely flawed because we can't predicate intelligence solely off of a test. Because what if I F up on the day, or I'm not feeling it,
the test
or there's so much going on?
Any level of intelligence, because intelligence is, I don't know how to define it.
It's all encompassing. There's so much to intelligence. It's like common sense, academic ability, understanding of social situations,
perception as well.
Exactly. There's so many things that go into true intelligence than just I got an A star in the test, or I can do this. I can recite Pythagoras' theorem.
Yeah.
Cool, good for you, but
where's that A star getting you when you come out?
Exactly.
Because you're not going to be graded once you go into real life. There are no grades, it's just doing.
And that's where the anxiety and stress and depression comes from. Is you've assumed that this will get you to X, Y, or Z, but it hasn't. No. And you've worked your hardest to get to that point, assuming that that's all you needed, but there's so much more.
That's why I can see
and
that anxiety, depression, and stress are very, very common amongst young people, especially secondary school kids. Because I'm guessing not even secondary and sixth form. That's technically goes in the same bracket, because they know that after this, I'm now going into
the real world.
It's not even necessarily the real world, because you think you're going into the real world, then it just sees that there's another.
You're not a child though.
True.
So you come out of sixth form college, and you're 18. Like by legally speaking, you are a man or a woman.
You're a man or woman, but I think it all depends on the mentality of the person.
No, 100%, 100%, completely. And that's another
thing that's
age isn't really a determiner for say emotional or physical maturity. It's just that you generalize. It's something that you'd have to do in order to shows an ounce of fairness, I guess. It's like you can't trial. Say you had two people that were 18 years old, and one was extremely immature and one was significantly more mature, and they committed the same crime. You can't trial someone differently off of the basis that that one's immature and one's mature.
But they would say that person.
There would be underlying circumstances, and there would be various things to put into account, and that's all context. But my point is that it would be hard. It wouldn't be fair to trial individuals on different circumstances or by different criteria.
It wouldn't be, because fair enough, everyone develops differently, but at the same time you're still moving in the same time. But one more thing I just wanted to talk about is it being seen as a taboo in the black family, I should say, because I'm going to say the black family, because it is true. We don't necessarily talk about mental health a lot, anxiety, depression, PTSD, and also it's just seen as if it's like possession or something. For example, it automatically goes to the default of saying, this person must be possessed, this person must be taken over by the devil, rather than this person needs help. Like I know in Africa, a lot of people, I was doing some research, people that suffer from bipolar, schizophrenia, and they're all marked as witches because they're deemed to be, abnormal to society's norms, because they act in a certain way, it's like, yeah, you're possessed, there's no way we can help you. And yeah, you never know. Back in the day, they were stoning those people to death. Do you feel like that's something that's kind of held us back in terms of dealing with trauma? Because as a diaspora, we have suffered a lot. I think that's an extreme. I think here, at least, it's a lot of your cousins at home would never tolerate this, or would never do this, like, or be grateful for what you have. It's a difference of circumstances. I know, but I don't know, from my point of view, it's always been a sense of gratitude, like showing gratitude for whatever you have and wherever you are. And when it, so
yeah, like, I feel like, I tried to talk about it one time, like, how I was depressed going through my injury. My dad's like, yo, be grateful for that, you're alive. I'm like, okay, but man, still can't go through stuff.
It's like if I ever chat to my dad, obviously not now, he's quite good, but back in the day, if I did ever chat to my dad about something that was bringing me down, it'd be like, well, look at what I was going through growing up.
Thank you.
And it's always comparative. It's like
it's not a competition to see who's struggling more.
Exactly.
Like, I hate that so much.
It's like my problems don't matter because you've been through worse, and we acknowledge that you just have been. 100%. And then it always comes back to, this generation is soft, instead of being, I don't know, like, we're trying to be more emotionally aware. It's always put to us negatively, but that's another thing. That's more men.
And I feel like that kind of pushes us as young people to go for that mentality of, I'll just take care of it myself.
Yeah,
I'll be fine. And
100%.
Guilty as charged. I feel like that's something that we really need to snap out of.
Yeah,
as a community, because you can't deal with it by yourself. You need help. You need people behind you that are going to support you.
I'm gonna get to that.
No, building on what you said, I feel like a lot of that then builds on top of toxic masculinity. So like, men are not supposed to show pain. They're not supposed to like talk about emotion. They're supposed to do all this other stuff.
They're meant to be tough.
That's why our suicide rates are so significantly higher. Because no one ever checks up on their boy and see how you are.
It's true.
You're checking up on your boy. He has emotions. That's
exactly.
Great.
Yeah, like instantly. Everything's about questioning your masculinity.
Where did that come from? Where did that culture come from?
That's just
because it wasn't.
I'm gonna say it's this patriarchy, isn't it? It's like
it is patriarchy to be
honest. It's just a male centric backbone. Yeah, we just gender roles and shit.
Everyone
like
breaks sometimes. 100, it happens.
I know. I mean, but I don't know personally. Between you guys, I don't tell people things.
Yeah, I'm terrible.
I don't either.
No, like I
agree. I feel like it helps though, because
it does. Like, I acknowledge that it's a positive thing to do, but I'll probably similar to you guys. I always feel as if I'm not trying to burden anyone else with my problems.
Yeah, you want to kind of take care of it.
Yeah, and it's like, and I would feel weak if I couldn't take care of it myself.
Yeah, you feel like you just. That's another toxic masculinity thing as well. Because weakness is okay. It's kind of a thing through time that's been. It's been deemed as but how can you be strong if you're not weak? That's something that we forget as well. How will you know what strength is without knowing weakness? How will you know what happiness is without sadness?
True.
These are all things that we need to go through, and it seems that through times it's kind of been beaten out of us. Like, no, you don't need to go there to find out that you can just keep being strong. But what are you comparing the strength to?
Like I said, we're adding onto it again too, because remember we talked about this like numerous times. This whole "we move," it is what it is.
Yeah,
it's a very toxic term.
Everything. There's never any closure. Like there's never anything that things aren't
closure, resolution.
Yeah,
it's kind of like it will pass, or it's done.
But I don't know. Me personally, I'm used to that. I'm used to a lack of closure.
Yeah.
So.
But it shouldn't be like that.
It should never be like that. But there are some situations that I just think, you can't get away from that. Like things that just some stupid ass. But there are some women you're just like, I can't chat to you, and we're not in a position, like, you've done certain things, I've done certain things. We're not in a position where I can really move forward with this. And as much as I don't know what's going on. It's not like you're not going to tell me, and truly, you're not entitled to anyone else's thoughts or for you to feel better.
Entitlement. That's a very, very big thing as well. Do you feel like through the times, people have gotten more and more entitled or less entitled? Or do you feel like it's a scale of there are a branch of people who are happy with being unentitled to anything. They're happy with just being, and there are people that just want.
I think that's always the case though. I think if we're generalizing, we have become super entitled in the Western world, at least.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that society's taken over.
And I won't even put it towards race. We all know which race I'm talking about. But
you didn't say it in the face.
I didn't. Just like, but they know. You just see it. You can see it in people's mannerisms, the way they chat to you, the way they carry themselves as well. In general, at least this generation, we've become super entitled to everything. Yeah. Like even on a radical point of view, when I'm chatting to my dad about when me and Tariq go protesting, I'm like, people aren't coming out and and what's going on. He's like, well, come out. With all due respect, this is the start of your journey. For whatever you want to call it, social justice. Yeah. And it's not your place or your position to worry about what others are doing. There we go. You've got to do things for yourself.
It's 100% right now.
And I feel entitled to question why people aren't showing out and why things aren't going on for.
Well, you feel like you have the right to question them because it's a probable cause for you.
Exactly.
You feel like this is something that people should be advocating for.
It's something that for me you should feel morally obligated to do.
Yeah, definitely, because it's trying to benefit society.
Yeah, but
so in that case, you feel like there's good entitlement and bad entitlement.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I feel like there's deserved entitlement bad entitlement. It's like having it's like having an ego, but a justified ego.
There we go.
So much. It's like so say if I'm Cristiano Ronaldo, no one's touching me, no one's stepping to me, so I can have this ego, and you're not gonna do anything about it. It's basketball culture. Allen Iverson, AI's crossing everyone. You're not gonna step to AI. Or Kobe, or LeBron, or MJ. MJ is the embodiment of justified ego. Yeah. But do we see an issue with it? No, because you've worked to that stage.
Yeah, you kind of built to that level.
But an unjustified ego.
Is he entitled to it?
Is he entitled to it?
Yeah.
I think he's entitled to it because of the respect that he's garnished or he's gained. So I feel like in certain circumstances, say a leader of a household, say your dad. Your dad will assume or is entitled to the respect of the household. Yeah. Because of how he or your mum has supported you.
Shout out all the single mums
out there. Yes, exactly. You are doing amazing. The true backbones of the family. They know. Mothers know. They know. Well, they should know. I hope they know. Yeah. So entitled. Moving back to Tariq's point, is there good entitlement and bad entitlement? Looking back on it, I guess there is. I don't know how. I just don't know how I would word it in terms of good or bad.
I would say there's a difference
deserved.
between that's also a weird one.
Deserved.
What do you actually deserve? What is deserved?
I don't know. It's subjective though, isn't it? Yeah. So it's like I can only tell you how much I deserve.
I guess deserve something you worked for. Then you're kind of.
But then that also speaks to your work ethic. It's like if I'm used to working a lot and by my standards that's not that much, then I might not feel that I deserve as much as someone who's worked very little but still deserves the same amount. Okay. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It's a weird one. Everything's weird.
The feminists talk about pay, but we'll save that one for another time. Okay. Let's wrap up on this note. If you needed to advise the youth of today on a note, what would it be? What would you say to them? In terms of their health and mentality.
Can I read something out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this was a 40-year-old guy who wrote 10 things down that
told you yourself or something.
Yeah.
I might as well give them a couple of people to look at. As well, if you're looking at checking out your mental health, Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules of Life. I was going to say look at Farrakhan, but he's probably going to send you over the edge. Yeah, Jordan Peterson, take a look at him. Very good.
Okay, so this is the post. I'm 40, this is my input. So the input was what is your advice for people in their 20s? Number 1, everyone is focused on themselves to care too much about their opinion of you. So F what they think. 2, social media is only an illusion. 3, zero debt is an amazing feeling. Think twice before dropping that down payment on that fully loaded 2020 Dream Mobile that offers nothing but looks and depreciates value quickly. So I looked at my phone and I was like, this is my last contract because I don't really need anything else. This isn't what made me do that. I was always thinking that. Anyway, 5, use up all of your vacation time / sick time at work. 6, don't lose sight of hobbies you enjoyed as a child. They will help you live as you grow older. 7, family is not necessarily blood, but instead who you would bleed for. That was a very powerful one. Yeah. 8, there are just as many benefits to being a night owl as there are to being an early bird. 9, forgive yourself first before forgiving others. And 10, don't be a doormat in submission, but hold the door open in kindness.
Nice.
Those are 2 very nice
ones.
That's
a beautiful one.
Me personally, my advice is not to hold on. Don't hold on to certain things, people, relationships at such an early age. Don't overestimate the value of your personal relationship with someone.
However,
because truth be told, they don't. From up until even to now at 22, you're naive. So your assumptions are never or are probably not going to be in the best of light. And a lot of the things that you'll do will be driven by like things that you see on socials, impulse. Impulse, societal norms, trying to maintain a flipping a hierarchy in school, when really you come out of school and none of that matters.
You realize there's a whole level. There's levels to society.
All of the drama that you had, all of the people that you don't F with, all of the people that you loved or didn't love, it doesn't matter as soon as you come out of secondary. It doesn't matter. So worry about yourself. Truly worry about yourself, and always take opportunities regardless of
where it's going.
Or if it affects someone else. Always think about yourself first and foremost. That doesn't mean don't care about others, but you have to live with yourself.
There we go. And
every day.
Yeah. And also on that note, also love unconditionally. And when you want to hold on to someone and you cherish them, make sure you do that, and make sure you let them know as well. Don't hold back the feelings because you're afraid of how it may come out. You're afraid of what people may say. If you feel a certain type of way, make sure it's heard, because people respect you more for it in the long run, because they know you're always ready to communicate and express yourself in a truthful manner.
You always get at a funeral, he was such a, or she was such a great. But
did you let them know this when they were alive?
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Exactly. There we go. So please do.
Just
appreciate your people.
100%.
Show them love.
Appreciate, cherish, and hold on to them for as long as you can. Don't let them go. Tariq?
I would say that for social media especially, that everyone has their own race. Like, don't compare yourself to others. Comparison is like a big killer when it comes to people. Like, you'll see what you don't have, where you think you should be. Like, you're in your place for a reason. Like, don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Like, people only post their W's on social media. They're taking L's behind the screen.
Bells.
100.
Yeah. Bells.
Run your own race.
100. It's a marathon. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, man. Thank you guys for watching. It's been your boy LD. Here, Kamal, Tariq. Thank you for
Take care, people.